Hey guys, Peter here from the Epic Family Road Trip. We have been living off the grid and overlanding full time for the last 8 years. And today we're going to talk about how we stay in the backcountry for long periods of time because of the power that we have in these vehicles. Today we're talking specifically about this 2019 Jeep Wrangler. It's got a JXL extension on the back, a goose gear platform, and a lot of really cool electronics. Up on the roof of this rig we have a 120 watt REDARC solar panel, and that along with the alternator is what charges up the batteries. For batteries we have 4 Battleborn 75 amp hour batteries which are tucked neatly under the goose gear sleeping platform. We put those in over 2 years ago now, and we've never had a problem with them. In fact, we hardly even know they're there other than the power we get from them. They're tucked away so neatly and nicely, and we've been on all kinds of trails, bouncing all over the place. We've put those batteries through hot desert climates. We've had them in extreme cold weather up in Canada through the winter, and they've performed incredibly for us. Let's get into the details. So in this Jeep we have 2 sets of batteries. One that operates the back, the living space, and runs everything that we use for comfortable living. And that's what we're going to focus on today. But we also under the hood have a Genesis dual battery system with 2 Optima Extreme batteries. And that is a separate system because we want to always make sure that we can start our vehicle in the morning. And so those 2 batteries can be connected so that if one was drawn down low, we can boost it from the other one just by the click of a button. So we never have to worry about getting started by ourselves in the middle of the wilderness, even if we used all the battery power in the back, which is hard to do because it's a very, very powerful system. Today we're going to be focusing on the power in the back, the power that runs all of our accessories. And we're going to show you some of the stuff that we can run so that we're out here for longer periods of time with total comfort. So as I mentioned, at the heart of that system is the 4 75 amp hour lithium Battleborn batteries. Then we have a total battery management system by REDARC. It comes in several components. We have the REDARC Manager 30. That allows the batteries to be charged to 100%, whether from the solar panel or from the alternator while we're driving the vehicle. So as you know, we're on the trails a lot during the day, and that time isn't wasted. That's continually charging up the battery bank. When we're sitting still like we are now in the desert, it's a bit of an overcast day, but we're still getting a really good charge off that powerful solar panel on the roof. So the main components of this system, of course, are the 4 lithium batteries, 75 amp hours each. That gives us 300 amp hours of power. Then you've got the REDARC Total Battery Management System. It's also a distribution system and a fuse box. So that box manages the batteries, makes sure that they are equally charged and charged fully. And then we plug into that an inverter, and that inverter takes the 12 volt and converts it into 120 so that we can run regular appliances. What we did is go out and get a power bar with multiple outlets on it, as well as some USB outlets, and that helps us distribute the power to the very back and allows us to charge batteries and run different appliances. Lastly, we have the REDARC Red Vision system, and that allows us to see what's going on in the system at all times. It sends the data to an app, which is Bluetooth to the system, but there's also a great panel right here in the back of the Jeep that allows us to see where the battery charge is at, how much power is in them, how long it's expected to last, and what kind of power is coming in from the various charge sources, whether it be the alternator or the solar panel. It'll also give us information on how much power we've used throughout the day and throughout the week. We're going to show you some of the stuff that we can do with this powerful Jeep. So what could you possibly want that power for when you're overlanding and off the grid? Well, that's really up to your imagination. Whatever you want to run to make your life comfortable out here and to make it so that you can stay out for longer periods of time, you can do that. Before we had this system, getting enough power to do what we needed to do out here in the field was a constant struggle, and there were even times where we ran our batteries down and had to boost the Jeep from another Jeep, which is not good if you're alone. So a system like this can come in very handy. For us as a YouTube channel, of course, we have a lot of batteries that need to be charged. everything from drones to GoPros to our cameras and laptops for editing. And so this system can handle everything we've plugged into it. If you're a family and you want to get your kids to spend time overlanding with you, it's all about making it comfortable and fun. If they're not having a good time, you're not going to be having a good time. Having the extra power allows you to bring, for instance, a screen or an iPad, or watch a movie at night. The sky's the limit, really. Even for extremely important items like having a Zoleo or a Garmin, some kind of a satellite-based communication system. These days, Starlink is an option, and it may not be for everyone because some of you go on these trips to escape all of that. But if you're a full-timer like us, you need to be in contact with the outside world. Having the ability to use the Starlink system out in the wilderness not only is great for safety, but it allows you to do business or work while you're out there. Another big part of comfort is food, and as you know, we love to make a lot of great meals, what Carol would call a simple meal. But that makes life on the road, life in the wilderness, so much more enjoyable when you know you can cook up a great meal. Now, Carol loves, where possible, to make a fire and do the slow cook thing. And that's great for bonding as a family and spending time. And we do that as often as we can. But we do run into situations where it's too cold or rainy, the weather just isn't cooperating, or you're in an area where you can't make a fire. And then the battery system and the power in this Jeep comes in handy and allows us to use some electric appliances. When it comes to trail running, sometimes you have to clear the trail. Now, we used to use a gas-powered chainsaw, which is very, very powerful, but then you got to carry mixed gas, you've got to carry all kinds of different types of oils, and that can be messy but also hard to carry on a small rig. We now use an electric chainsaw, and that has become extremely handy and very efficient. All you need is the chainsaw itself, which it tends to be smaller than a regular gas-powered chainsaw, and then you have one or two batteries and a charger, and you're good to go. This system allows us to keep those big, powerful batteries charged up at all times. We typically plug them in when we're on the trail. So while the engine of the vehicle is running and we're trail riding, that power is going to the system in the back and charging up those bigger devices. For hot nights, there's nothing worse than being very uncomfortable in your sleep. So we run a couple of fans. We have battery-operated fans that plug right into the system. This system will handle whatever you put in it. There's nothing worse than a battery-operated fan running out at 3 o'clock in the morning and then you wake up hot and uncomfortable. So there's a myriad of uses for power when you're off the grid like this, and we're going to demonstrate some of those for you now. So one thing we always bring with us is an extension cord. What that does is allow us to plug into the system in the Jeep, and then if we have a table set up a little distance away, I mean up to 25 feet away from the Jeep, you can run your appliances out there. So that's really handy. What I'm going to do is plug this in and let's get a coffee going. I think it's a good time to make a coffee. Let's get back to the video. That was a delicious coffee. Now you could see on the Red Vision panel that when we plugged in the water heater to heat up that water for the coffee, the system adjusted from running for multiple days down to 3 hours, which indicates that you could run that water heater for 3 hours on the current charge. Obviously, the water heats up in less than a minute, so it went right back to the multiple day charge. So as you know, a big part of staying off the grid for a long period of time is having good food. Now, let's say you can't make a fire. Well, this is what we do. We have a crock pot. Now, this is great for slow cooking a roast or making a batch of chili or anything. Meals like that, they have to slow cook for quite a few hours, sometimes 3, 4, or even 5 hours. So let's plug this baby in and see how the system handles it. So now the crock pot is running. We put it on an 8-hour cook, and as you can see from the Red Vision, that the system said it could handle it. It's stabilized at around 19 or 18 hours, so that's plenty. You could cook this for 8 hours, still have 10 hours of battery life at the same draw. So while you're cooking, you could also be charging some batteries. So if we were in camp, I'd really be looking forward to a really nice chili or even a chuck roast or something like that. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. But what if you don't have time for a slow cooked meal? So usually around this time of day, our cameras are starting to get low on battery and our communication devices, so it's time to start charging. Now, we showed you the power bar in the back. We can plug all kinds of plugs into that. A lot of things these days, so lights and cameras, etc., charge by USB. So we picked up this little unit here. It has 10 USB ports, and we can charge pretty much everything we have at once. Let's get to it. So we've plugged in some of our devices, and for display purposes we've got them on the back here, and sometimes when we get to camp we'll do that and just charge everything. The beauty is it can all be charged while you're on the trail, so you can set them up in various positions within your vehicle and have all this stuff charged when you get to camp. But however you do it, it shows what can be done. We've got a laptop charging here, an iPhone, 2 drones, a headlamp. We've got our camera batteries, the large camera batteries and the small camera batteries. We've got a V-mount battery charging here, 2 lanterns, and then the chainsaw battery, which is a big draw. But as you can see, the system can handle it no problem, and we'll show you the REDARC screen so you can get an idea of the draw and for how long we could charge these. So we also have a Milwaukee charger and some Milwaukee tools. As handy as a chainsaw can be on the trail, it's nothing like a good vacuum for cleaning up after a dusty trail. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. Let us know in the comments below if you are enjoying these information style videos that we do midweek. Make sure you stay tuned because we have a new adventure coming out every weekend. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. It really helps us out, and give us a big old like. It helps the algorithm, which is very important for us. I'm going to make sure to put a link in the description below for the various products we talked about on this video, but also to other videos where we've gone into detail about the build of this Jeep, specifically to do with the electronic system. So stay tuned for all of that, and in the meantime, we'll see you down the road. Through the winter, and they've performed incredibly for us, and they've performed incredibly for us. Up on the roof of this rig we have a 120 watt. We've put those batteries through hot desert climates.